A man who was infected with blood containing hepatitis C at just 4 weeks has spoken out about his experience for the first time. Gavin Sherrington-Blaine is one of thousands impacted by the contaminated blood scandal. He's hoping that evidence given to a national inquiry about Birmingham hospitals in the 70s and 80s will help find the truth and compensate those affected. It's a hope other families also share, as Haemophilia reports.
Gavin Sherrington-Blaine was just 4 weeks old when he was given blood contaminated with hepatitis C. It was to treat a mild case of haemophilia, a bleeding disorder, ahead of an operation at Birmingham's Children's Hospital. Years later, it was discovered he'd never had the condition.
Throughout my childhood, I was given blood products sporadically. And then at about 14 years old, I was sat down by a consultant at the Children's Hospital and informed that I had hepatitis C. And at that point, I was told that my life expectancy would be 30 years.
Gavin is now 40 and clear of hepatitis C.
I remember, being refused to be treated at dentists, relationships being ended because of this. And as I said, there's been advancements in medicine. So, thankfully I've managed to clear the hepatitis C, but that only happened, 15 years ago.
And Gavin isn't alone. A national inquiry is currently looking into why some NHS patients were given imported blood in the 1970s and 80s that was often contaminated with hepatitis or HIV. And this week, the inquiry's been hearing evidence about Birmingham's Haemophilia Centre, which ran across the Children's Hospital and the Queen Elizabeth. It was there that Ron Hill was treated for mild haemophilia in the 1970s.
We found out by accident in 1995 that he'd received contaminated blood products. He'd got hep C and he had cirrhosis of the liver and liver failure and needed a liver transplant.
After a second liver transplant, Ron died in 2004, aged 48. Jean has been fighting for justice ever since.
We want to know why they carried on using blood products that they thought were infected or might be infected. And also, I think people need some sort of compensation.
And it's exactly those reasons that's prompted Gavin to speak out about what happened to him for the very first time.
Paymaster General has gone back and forth about a framework of compensation being considered. Now, that isn't good enough. I'm here 40 years on from this situation happening. I've not been compensated, neither has anyone else, in a way that is meaningful.
Both he and Jean hope that this week's evidence to the inquiry about Birmingham in the 70s and 80s helps address that. Haemophilia, ITV News.
Well, the government says the public inquiry was set up to establish the truth and provide individuals and families with the answers that they rightly deserve.